Today we're going to take a look at this flower square motif. It's really not as difficult as it may appear. We're just making a circle and then squaring it off in the last couple of rounds. I'm going to show you how to do that step by step. So starting right from the beginning, I'm going to make a slip knot. And then I'm going to begin with a chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to join this chain 6 into a ring by making a slip stitch into the first chain that I made. So I'm just going to insert my hook in there, being careful not to twist my chain. And then I'm going to just draw some yarn through that first chain that I made and the last chain that I made. And now I've got a ring. So the first round, we're working in rounds, not rows, is going to be worked into that chain. So first round begins with chain 3, and that's going to count as a double crochet stitch. That's going to count as a DC stitch. And you'll see how that works when I get to the end of the round. Now I need to work 15 double crochet into the ring. So to work a double crochet, remember I'm going to yarn over the hook before I insert it into my space, drop a loop, yarn over hook, draw through 2 loops on hook, yarn over hook, draw through 2 loops on hook. So now I've worked 1, I need to work 14 more to make my 15. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I'm just going to double check here how many I have. So because my chain 3 at the beginning of the round counts as a DC, and then to work 15 double crochet in the ring, it's really like I've got 16 double crochet. So let's see how I've done here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I need to work 1 more. So now I need to join with a slip stitch to the top of that chain 3. So that's the first DC I made. This is the top of my chain 3. I'm just going to insert my hook in there and draw some yarn through that chain and through the loop on my hook. So that's the first round. Now you might find that this hole has gotten kind of big or misshapen, and I just like to tug on my yarn tail, and then I'll draw things together nice and evenly. So now we're ready to work the second round, and that begins with a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this time, this counts as a double crochet and 1 chain. So a chain 1. And we'll see how that works when we get to the end of the round. So now I have to work 1 DC in next DC, chain 1 15 times. So because that counts as my DC and my chain 1, I'm not going to work into that same space where I made my slip stitch. I'm going to work into this chain, or this DC rather. I'm going to work 1 DC and then chain 1. In every stitch. So for my very next DC, I'm going to make a DC and chain 1. So those chain 1s in between the DCs give us the space we need to work all the way around. If we just work DCs, we wouldn't be able to get all the way around without things buckling. So 1 DC, chain 1, 1 DC, chain 1, all the way around. And now I need to join this into the round. So I'm going to join into the 3rd chain of that beginning chain 4. So that's the 4th chain, this is the 3rd chain, and I'm just going to make a slip stitch again, drawing the yarn through. And now I've created my slip stitch. So now you can see our circle's getting a little bigger. Now for my 3rd round, I'm going to chain 3 again. That counts as a DC. Then I need to work 2 DC in the next chain 1 space and 1 DC into the next DC. So remember, this is my first chain 1 space. I'm going to work 2 DC into that chain 1 space. And 1 DC in the next DC, or double crochet. 2 DC in the next chain 1 space. And 1 DC in the next DC. We're going to do that all the way around until I'm at my last chain 1 space. So now I'm at my last chain 1 space, and I'm going to work 2 double crochet, 2 DCs in that chain 1 space, and then I'm going to join my round with a slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 from the beginning of my round. So I'm just going to pull the yarn through, and now I've joined in the round. So now I've got a nice neat circle. Okay, now we're ready to begin the 4th round, and that begins with a chain 1. And I'm going to work 1 SC in that same space that I joined my last round. Now I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip next 2 DC and then 1 SC in next DC. So I'm skipping these 2, and I'm going to work 1 SC and single crochet in that next double crochet. So now I'm going to work a chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now I'm going to join with a slip stitch into that first chain that I made. So I'm making a little loop here. It might look funny, but as we go along, this is what's going to create the foundation for our corners, because remember, even though this is round now, eventually this is going to be square. So now I'm going to chain 3, skip next 2 DC, 1 SC, and next DC 3 times. So I've skipped 2, 1 SC and next DC, chain 3, skip 2, 1 SC and next DC, chain 3, skip 2, 1 SC in next DC, and then I'm going to chain 3, next 2, 1 SC and next DC. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 3 spaces, and this is where I make my chain 6 loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then slip stitch in the 6th chain from hook, which is the very first chain I made after that SC, to make this loop. I'm going to do the same thing again, so I'm forming the sides of the square now. Chain 3, skip 2 DC, 1 SC and next DC, and I'm going to do that 3 more times. 1, 2, 3, chains, skip 2, 1 SC and next DC, chain 3, skip 2 DC, 1 SC and next DC, and one more time, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 1 SC and next DC. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 3 spaces. So from here I'm going to create that chain 6 loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then join with a slip stitch to the 6th chain from hook to create my loop. Now I'm going to chain 3 once more, skip 2, 1 SC and next DC, chain 3, skip next 2 DC, 1 SC and next DC, 2 more times, 1, 2, 3, skip next 2, 1 SC and next DC, chain 3, skip next 2 DC, 1 SC in next DC. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 3 loops or spaces. Now I'm going to make that chain 6 loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip stitch in the 6th chain from the hook, which is the one closest to the SC. I'm going to chain 3, skip next 2 DC, 1 SC and next DC. We'll do that 3 more times. Chain 3, skip next 2 DC, 1 SC and next DC, chain 3, skip next 2 DC, and now I'm at the end of my round, so I'm just going to join with a slip stitch to the first SC that I made, and now you can see I still have my 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 3 spaces. You can see the square beginning to form with these chain 6 loops I have in the corner, and that's the end of round 4. So now for round 5, I'm going to begin with a slip stitch in that first chain 3 space. So I'm just making a slip stitch to get into position. Then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to make 1 SC in that same space, that same chain 3 space, as my last slip stitch. Now I need to work 5 DC, chain 3, 5 DC in the next chain 6 space. So this is my chain 6 space, the little loop I created. We're going to work 5 DC, chain 3, 5 DC, all in that chain 6 loop. So remember, DC, I'm going to yarn over a hook before I insert it into that chain 6 space. yarn over hook, draw through 2 loops on hook, yarn over hook, draw through 2. So I hooked 3 DC there, 3 double crochets. There's 4 and 5. Now I'm going to chain 3 and work 5 more double crochets all in that same space. If you find you don't have enough room, you can just slide the stitches over. They'll just slide around that chain. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So once I've worked that, you can see that's sort of a little petal forming for our flower. Now I'm going to work 1 SC in the next chain 3 space. So that's this space right here. I'm going to work my 1 SC. Now I need to skip the next chain 3 space and work 5 DC in the next SC. So I'm skipping this one and I'm going to work 5 DC into this SC right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to skip the next chain 3 space, work 1 SC in my next chain 3 space, and from there I'm going to work another corner petal. I'm going to work 5 DC, chain 3, 5 DC in this chain 6 loop, or chain 6 space. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 3, and 5 more DC, all in that same space. So now you can see we're starting to get corners forming, and these areas of all these DCs are forming the petals of our flower. So now I'm going to make 1 SC in this next chain 3 space. I'm going to skip the next chain 3 space and work 5 DC in my next SC. So that's it for this round. I'm just going to join now with a slip stitch to that first SC I made at the beginning of the round. Join with a slip stitch, and there I have my 5th round. And you can see this is starting to look a little more square. So to begin the 6th round, I have to get to this corner chain 3 space. So in order to do that, I'm going to slip stitch in each DC to the next corner. So I'm going to just insert my hook into the next stitch and pull a loop of yarn through that stitch and this loop on my hook. And I'm going to do that in each stitch all the way across And this is just to get over to the area where I want to begin working without having to cut the yarn and join it again. So now I've worked all the way over to my chain 3 space, and I'm going to chain 1, 1 SC, chain 3, 1 SC, all in the same space as my last slip stitch. So 1 SC, chain 3, 1 SC, all in that same space. Now I need to chain 5, skip the next 5 DC, and 1 DC in the next SC. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip those 5 DC and 1 SC, sorry, 1 DC in the next SC. Now I'm going to chain 3, skip next 2 DC, that's 2, and then 1 SC in the next DC. So that's the middle DC of that chain 5 group. Then I'm going to chain 3, skip the last 2 DCs of that chain 5 group, and I'm going to make 1 DC in the next SC. Now I'm going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and work 1 SC, chain 3, 1 SC in that corner chain 3 space. And so we're going to repeat that around. I'm going to make a chain 5, skip those 5 DC, I'm going to work 1 DC in the next SC, chain 3, skip the next 2 DC, 1 SC in next DC. So that's the center of those 5 DCs. I'm going to skip those DCs, the next 2 DCs, make 1 DC in the next SC, then chain 5, and then 1 SC, chain 3, 1 SC, and my corner chain 3 space. So it's the center, chain 3, 1 DC in next SC. And this one's a little stiffer because we've worked all of those slip stitches at the beginning of the row. It can be a little difficult to figure out where you need to be. Oh, I need to be over here. And I'm going to finish the round with chain 5. And I'm going to slip stitch in the first SC of my SC chain 3 SC. And that's it for round 6. You can see things are definitely beginning to look square. We have one more round to go. One day. So round 7 of our flower motif begins with a slip stitch in this chain 3 space in the corner. Then I'm going to chain 3, and that counts as a double crochet stitch. So now I'm going to make 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets, in that same chain 3 space. So there's my 2DC, chain 3, 2DC in my corner chain 3 space. Now I'm going to be working into this chain 5 space, 5 double crochets. So that's 5 DC in next chain 5 space. Then I'm going to skip this DC and work 3 DC in the next chain 3 space. So it's easy to remember as we're working around that when you're at a chain 5 space, you work 5 DCs into that space, and when you're at a chain 3 space, you work 3 DCs into that chain 3 space. And now I'm at this SC, I'm going to work 1 DC in next SC. So it's the center of our square's side. Now I have a chain 3 space, I'm going to work 3 DC in this chain 3 space. I'm going to skip this DC, and then in this next chain 5 space, I'm going to work 5 DCs. Now I'm at my corner again, and in this chain 3 space in the corner, I'm going to work 3 DC, chain 3, 3 DC, all in that chain 3 space. From here, we're going to essentially repeat the same thing on the next 3 sides. So in this next chain 5 space, I'm going to work 5 DC. So now I'm at my last chain 5 space of the 7th round, the final round of this flower square. So I'm going to work my 5 DC in my last chain 5 space. This whole round is just creating a double crochet border all the way around my square. There's 4 and 5, and then I'm going to make a slip stitch in the top of the chain 3 that I made at the beginning of the round that counts as a double crochet, and that's my whole square. I'm just going to fasten off. I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving about a 6-inch tail to weave in at the end, and I'm just going to pull that tail through, and that is it for our flower square. We've turned a circle into a square.